Right now in KGW, students are set to walk out of a Vancouver high school after a teacher was accused of sexual misconduct with a student. We have a live report coming up, and we are tracking the latest cleanup efforts after a train trestle collapsed near Corvallis. Plus, Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has resigned just ahead what led to his decision. And Congress has certified the results of the 2024 election, marking the 4-year anniversary of the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Your news at noon starts right now. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm China Green. Teenagers at Hudson Bay High School in Vancouver are slated to walk out of class at noon. This happened after a teacher was accused of sexual misconduct with a student. And our Thomas Schultz is live in Vancouver. Thomas, what's going on out there?
Yeah, well, China, right behind us, you can see those students have actually walked out of class. They're now at district headquarters of Vancouver Public Schools. School officials tell us that 2 administrators have also been placed on leave, in addition to that teacher who allegedly had sexual misconduct with one of their students. Now, you can see here there's just dozens of students outside the school district front doors. We've heard chants all morning long of things like "We want change." We've seen protest signs from dozens of students. And at the crux of this, these teenagers say they're hurt. The school didn't do more to keep them safe. You can hear those cheers and applause right now as protesters continue to chant on a bit. This walkout comes after Shadbrion Gatson, a teacher at Hudson Bay High School, was arrested on December 20th for sexual misconduct with a student. That arrest stems from an incident in 2013. Now, according to court documents, the victim came forward in early December when she told police she was sexually victimized by Gatson back in 2013. Gatson allegedly began the sexual relationship by assigning the girl detention in his classroom. Court documents said the relationship continued on several occasions in 2013, both at school and at Gatson's home. At the time, he was 31 years old, she was 16. Charges were dropped because the statute of limitations expired, though police say the investigation into Gatson is still open, and more accusers have come forward. The school district says they're sharing additional information with Vancouver police. And today, we spoke to some students who had Gatson as a teacher and encountered his odd behavior firsthand.
It was definitely creepy. Me and my friend experienced some just face-to-face experience with him being weird to us and just kind of inappropriate behavior that I feel like should have been addressed, obviously.
Now, Gatson was placed on administrative leave back in November. We reached out to the school district, who told us that they were angered and saddened by the things that they have heard that occurred from Gatson. They say as of right now, there is also a third party who is investigating his behavior. China.
Thomas Schultz reporting live from Vancouver this afternoon. Thank you, Thomas. And we have an update on the sex abuse investigation in St. Helens. Over the weekend, police arrested high school teacher Eric Stearns again on additional charges. Stearns has already been indicted on 8 counts of sexual abuse after being arrested in November. After reaching out to the public, detectives learned of 8 more alleged victims. Thursday, Stearns was indicted on 11 more counts of sexual abuse. Detectives are concerned that there still may be more victims. If you have any information to share, call St. Helens detectives. That number is 503-397-1521. Congress has certified the results of the Electoral College and Donald Trump's presidential election win, paving the way for him to once again be sworn into the office on January 20th. The certification came under the tightest national security level possible as layers of tall black fencing line the U.S. Capitol complex in a stark reminder of what happened on January 6th 4 years ago. Vice President Kamala Harris reaffirmed her role in today's certification in a video message released this morning.
Today at the United States Capitol, I will perform my constitutional duty as Vice President of the United States to certify the results of the 2024 election.
The events in 2020 led to changes in the certification process and increased security for today's event. More than 1,200 people have pleaded guilty or were convicted of crimes for the January 6th attack. And according to our reporting here at KGW, 9 of them were from Oregon and Southwest Washington. Here's a look at some other headlines that we are following for you this afternoon. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced today that he will resign. His resignation comes in the face of rising discontent within the Canadian government over his leadership and after the abrupt departure of his finance minister. Trudeau said that he plans to stay on as Prime Minister until a new leader of the Liberal Party is chosen. President-elect Donald Trump has asked a judge to postpone Friday's sentencing in his New York hush money case. Trump's lawyers said today that they plan to ask an appeals court to reverse a judge's decision made last week, which rejected Trump's bid to throw out the verdict. Trump has been convicted on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are visiting New Orleans today following the New Year's Day terror attack that killed at least 14 people and injured dozens more. White House officials say the president and First Lady will meet with the families of the victims. And around 60 million people across much of the country are being affected by a massive winter storm. The winter weather is bringing heavy snow, blizzard conditions, and dangerously cold temperatures from the Midwest to the East Coast. The storm is also causing major travel issues. A ground stop was issued at Chicago O'Hare International Airport through 9:30 this morning because of snow and ice. Today alone, almost 7,000 flights have been impacted nationwide. And those are a look at your new headlines. Our own Rod Hill has been tracking that winter storm himself.
Yeah, you know, from my eyes, this is just a good old-fashioned winter storm. It's been freezing rain and sleet for some. It's been a foot of snow for others. It started over the weekend back across Arkansas up into Missouri. We have a winter storm warning still in D.C. up through 1 a.m. tonight, local East Coast time. You can see their snow rates have certainly fallen apart. The forecast remains in the heart of the metro there, 6 to 10 inches, some isolated spots getting about a foot. Some heavier snow now moving through Ohio into West Virginia. Snow showers for the most part now pulling out of Cincinnati. Over the weekend, Kansas City reported, I think it was 11, it's either 9 or 11 inches of snow, which was good enough to be one of their biggest snowstorms in recent memory. We had a lot of freezing rain across parts of Arkansas up into Missouri. Here's what those temperatures are doing, and they are cold. I mean, 29 in D.C. where it's been snowing, that's not bad. 19 in Des Moines. Really, by Iowa standards, not that bad either. 13 is chilly in Wichita. It's 10 degrees up in Fargo. Just good old-fashioned classic January cold. We're on the mild side of things, and we're also on the sunny side. Lincoln City, Chinook Winds Casino Resort, sunny and 51 degrees. And here in Portland, we are enjoying sunshine as well. 51 is our temperature. I'll leave the forecast high about 54 degrees this afternoon. Nothing but sunshine. Light winds away from the gorge. Your 7-day forecast coming up, and also we'll look ahead a couple of weeks to what could be a cold pattern change. That's coming up.
Thank you, Rod. Crews in Corvallis are continuing cleanup efforts today after a train trestle collapsed on Saturday afternoon. Our Ashley Grams is live from the scene. Ashley, what happens here next?
Well, for the past few hours, we've seen truckload after truckload of gravel and rock being dropped here on the bank of the Marys River. Crews are preparing to bring in a crane which will pull these cars off the broken trestle and out of the water. You can see one of the rail cars there still hanging off the edge of the tracks. Now, I do want to show you some drone footage. We flew over the area earlier this morning, just as crews went to work when the sun came up. The train belongs to Portland and Western Railroad, and a spokesperson says 19 freight cars were crossing the river when it fell. The Corvallis Police Department says there was a structural failure. I just talked with a family who drove over from Lebanon to get a look at the damage.
Pictures we saw online and stuff just showed that one, and then we come over here and it's a lot worse than we thought. So it's kind of like, wow, they've got a lot of stuff to do.
A spokesperson for the railroad says the train cars were carrying fertilizer. Police said they brought in an ecological recovery company to put in containment booms to try and filter any leaks from the train, and that they are committed to minimizing ecological impacts. But at this point, we're still waiting to find out what kind of harm, if any, this fertilizer could have on the river. Now, we see lots of crews out here today. They're bringing in this gravel and this rock. We continue to hear those trucks. You might have heard that just a few seconds ago there as they're dropping that gravel off on the banks of the river here. We plan to have another crew out here throughout the day to update you on their progress, possibly as they bring this crane in and start to pull these cars out of the river. Send it back to you, China.
Ashley, thank you. This next video shows the moment a truck crashed into a convenience store in Polk County over the weekend. It happened Saturday night, causing hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. The operations manager of the store says the man got out of the truck and yelled racial slurs before he attempted to get away. KGW's John Adams shows us what happened next.
Crushed shelves, ruined food, and tire tracks are what's left behind after a man drove his truck through the Center Market in Dallas, Oregon on Saturday. Security video shows the truck bursting through the side of the store around 9:30 p.m. Amrit Singh is the operations manager of the family-owned business.
He got out, yelled a bunch of racial slurs. Whether it was intended for us or somebody else, I don't know.
Singh says the man then did this.
He got out, went and grabbed a beer from the cooler, came behind to the register and grabbed a pack of Camel 99s as well, then got back in his truck.
The man then tried to back out of the store, but was blocked by a Dallas police officer who had parked their vehicle in the hole in the wall. You can see the truck attempting to flee the scene for over a minute, causing the store to fill with exhaust. According to the police department, the suspect has been identified as John Marlis. They say Marlis hit the store at an estimated speed of 15 to 20 miles per hour, creating this gaping hole. Marlis eventually got out of the vehicle and surrendered to police. He is facing charges of reckless driving, first-degree robbery, DUI, and criminal mischief. Police are investigating the incident to determine if this was a biased crime or racially motivated.
Obviously, whether it's directed towards us or somebody else, that's at the end of the day, it's not okay, especially in a wonderful and a beautiful community like this.
Singh estimates the incident caused around $200,000 in damage, but didn't injure the employee inside the store. Singh says watching the surveillance video is traumatizing.
Seeing somebody forcefully driving their vehicle through a store and, terrorizing the store and destroying it, it definitely was a feeling that I don't think I've ever experienced before.
John Adams, KGW News.
One person is dead after a car crashed into a pole Saturday night in North Portland. It's the first deadly crash of the year for the city. Officers arrived just after 11 p.m. to North Willamette Boulevard and Burr Avenue. There, they found the vehicle with the driver inside seriously hurt. They were taken to the hospital, but they died from the injuries. According to Portland police, 65 people died in traffic incidents last year.